Hi, it's Stephanie here at the Dungeon Diaries. I am making a very informal video tonight because I just want to have a heart-to-heart. Mostly to get some things from my head out of my mouth, because when I say them out loud, it's kind of the same thing when I write something down. Putting that pen to paper helps me process it, and it makes it a little bit more real for me instead of thoughts just swimming through my mind. This weekend went really well for the most part for me. I had a party with my piano students, and there were cookies and junk, and you know what, it didn't even appeal to me. Whereas in years past, you know, seeing an open can of frosting, I would have been thinking about that DAMN can of frosting during the whole party, and I would just want to take it into the other room and just eat it with cookies and graham crackers, and I would have wanted to save all the cupcakes with the store-bought frosting. And, you know, it didn't even call to me. It just wasn't even something that called to me. So that was, you know, a really happy moment in my journey. But something that did happen is I had a company dinner, and at the very last minute, like literally we were going out the door to this company dinner, and I get a call from my boss, and he's like, "I'm so sorry, we're gonna have to change the venue. There is a 2-hour wait, so we're gonna go to another restaurant." And I was like, well, cool, that will be awesome, because they serve a whole lot of meat. It's one of those restaurants where it's a Brazilian restaurant where they bring around the skewers and skewers of meat, and then they have a salad bar. So in my head, initially, I was like, well, that'll be even better, because there won't be bread on the table for me to munch on, because the original place is going to be an Italian restaurant. But I had already looked ahead. I knew exactly what I was going to order, and I wasn't even worried about the dinner. And we got there, and it was like I went to a place that I felt like I couldn't get out of. I'm kind of a visual person, so the way that I visualized what happened to me was that there was about a 6-foot hole. I guess something that you would bury somebody in. So a 6-foot hole, and the sides were muddy, and it was like me trying to get out of the hole. And every time I'd go, I'd slip back down, and then I'd slip back down again, because I had some moments where I was like, oh my gosh, what are you eating? You don't even, this is cheap crab salad. Why are you eating this? Or why are you going back for the curry? Why are you going back for the soup? Like, what are you doing? And it was like a little blip for a second, and then I went right back to eating without thinking. And I kept thinking, okay, are you feeling full? Are you feeling, you know, how are you feeling? And it's like I couldn't even tell. I couldn't tell if I was still hungry. I couldn't tell if I was full. I couldn't tell if I had, you know, eaten 5 pounds of meat or 2 pieces of meat. It just was like this moment where I went into this mode that I couldn't snap out of. And I came home and then proceeded to want to eat even more, which is really the difference between being a food addict and somebody who just overeats. When you go to that place where you've completely, you know, done something that you didn't think, oh crap, I gotta take these off the grill. They're gonna burn! And I'll tell you what I'm making here in just a minute. Okay, griddle off. Anyway, I don't know what I was saying, but I'll get to the point. Where you come home and you're full and you're like, I think I'm going to eat some more. And then you proceed to just, whatever it is, whatever it is. And that happened to me. And I was so mad when I was going to bed. And I just had that regret, which is like, hello, liar, liar, pants on fire. Here I am like making a video like, oh, you don't want to have a regret this weekend. Here's all your planning. And, you know, there were some things that I did that I'm glad that I did, because it could have been even worse. You know, I did avoid the wheat. I didn't have any dessert or anything like that. But I mean, I had plenty of crap, and that's really all there is to it. And I overate, and that's the main point. So, you know, normally those types of situations will lead to maybe another day, and then that will turn into a week, and then that will turn into a month, and then that will turn into 6 months. And there is another person inside of me. And in fact, I'm going to take you into my bedroom, because I have something that I want to show. And we have not even cleaned up dinner yet. Ah, look at this. And you guys have, a few of you said, I'd like a house tour. Well, you're about to get a mini house tour. So I'm going down the hall. Oh, hello. Yes, we are. We will be doing bedtimes. I'm okay. Okay. My husband was afraid that I wasn't going to be there for bedtime. So let me just show you how messy our room is right now. No, just kidding. Actually, I'm going to show you how messy my desk is. So, at Weight Watchers one week, we had to make a vision board, and I don't know if you can see this. I'm trying to see what I'm showing you. You probably get the idea of it. There's, oh my gosh, I'm like knocking stuff over. Maybe this is a fail. Basically, it's a picture of me chained to all of these habits, and there's pictures of me hiking and backpacking, and there was a time in my life where, you know, I hiked a lot and mountain climbed a lot, and it was, you know, a great time in my life, and I learned how to be really persistent, because when you hike for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, and you think, oh my gosh, I'm never gonna stop hiking. And then you get to the top and it's worth it. And the way that I tried to describe to my Weight Watcher leader what I was struggling with at the time is that I was trying to do one of those really hard hikes that already I knew was going to take hours and hours and hours, or a lifetime, years and years, months and months. And there was somebody, another part of me, chained around the waist to me. And this person was being dragged, kicking and screaming, wanting to, just saying, one more bite. I just want, you know, one more binge, one more French fry, one more piece of pizza. Oh my gosh, am I getting emotional? Okay, I gotta get this together. But really, I feel like the strong person inside of me is trying so hard to do something that's already hard. You know, watch what I'm eating, pay attention to what I'm eating, have a schedule, you know, get up early, do the exercise, structure my day. I mean, I'm spending Sunday night like planning all of my food for the next 3 days, and I mean, that takes work and it takes time, and it is so worth it, but it's not easy. It's not the easy way out. I'm not eating microwave dinners. I'm not going to go through the drive-through. You know, I'm going to have a plan for my day, and it will be worth it, but it's not like the easy way out. And so I feel like sometimes there is this other person, and she's a part of me, and sometimes I, you know, can kind of ignore her, but sometimes there is this other person that is chained to me, and it's like I'm trying to go uphill while literally dragging somebody behind me that has her heels stuck into the ground, you know, kicking and screaming, saying, I don't want to do this. I just want to eat what I want to eat. I want to, you know, eat however much I want to eat, when I want to eat it. And sometimes that's why it takes me, you know, a few steps, you know, get a few steps up, and then that other person will pull me back down. And then, you know, get a few more steps up the mountain, and then out comes like hungry Stephanie, and she just pulls me back down. And then I go back down a few steps. And so sometimes when I'm trudging through, it's like, this is so freaking hard, because sometimes that other voice in my head, or that other side of myself, is more present than in other times. And I have gone about 5 or 6 weeks without having a binge moment. And that is a long time for me. When I first joined Weight Watchers, I was binging every weekend, and I was using all of my extra points in the matter of like 2 days. And so I'd have some days where I would have like 60 or 70 points. And you don't talk a lot about the binging and that sort of thing at the meetings. Usually, you know, it's just not something that gets brought up. I have brought it up in meetings, and there's other people that can relate to it. But it seems like kind of like that, ooh, we can't talk about that. Oh, we're all, you know, being disciplined. And I think that that's something that only a real food addict can relate to. You know, somebody like my husband, yeah, he overeats, and he's just like, oh, my belly's poking out, and he forgets about it. The next day is no different than the other day. But somebody like me who has a binge, it's like, oh my gosh, what did I do? And you're thinking of all these, like, okay, now I got to do this, now I got to do that, and I got to, you know, and I just had to calm down. And luckily, a very dear friend sent a message that was the complete answer to what I needed to hear, some voice of reasons. And I had a really good day. I had an amazing day. I'm so glad that I made my salads yesterday, because I came home from a day of church, and I had some whole fat, whole milk yogurt and some coconut oil. And I had my salad that had kale and avocado and pumpkin seeds and olive oil. And I finally felt satiated, which feels really good. And then what I'm making right now is actually something that has cashews and eggs and some pumpkin and pumpkin spice, because I'm leaving town and I need to have some things that I can take on an airplane that I know I'll be able to have that are high fat. So anyway, the point of this video is that I'm glad that I had a chance to learn yet another lesson about myself, that I had an opportunity to, I don't want to say the word fail, but make some choices that I didn't want to make. Because what it does for me is it makes me, at least right now, it hasn't always in the past, but it's made me, you know, just have a come to Jesus moment, if you will. And, you know, remember the things that I have to constantly be aware of and on top of. And, you know, I had planned out my whole week of what I was going to eat, but I don't think that's enough this week. I have a really busy week. I may have overbooked myself just a little bit. We fly out of town on Thursday, and I'm going to my in-laws' house, and my husband comes from a family of 8 kids, and all of those siblings and their spouses and their kids and all of his aunts and uncles and cousins are all going to be coming together for their annual Christmas music singing party. And there will be, oh my goodness, so much soup. And my mother-in-law is the kindest lady. We called her and said, you know, what kind of soups are you making? And, you know, Stephanie wants to be you know, prepared. And she said, oh, have her send me the recipe. I'll go get the ingredients. I'll make whatever she needs. And I'm doing this, and I'll make sure that she has, you know, gluten-free options for lunch and for this. And I mean, oh, I so appreciate that. And even knowing that I know that people are going to be bending over backwards for me, I just know that when there's so many people, just like last night, like that other part of me, like the part that's trying to drag me down and be kicking and screaming, is like, I don't want to think about what I'm eating. I just want to eat like a freaking hog, and I want to shovel stuff in, and I want to go back for seconds, and I want to have some of that some of this and some of that, and, you know, eat without thinking and enjoy and laugh and talk and on and on. You know, that person came out and I didn't think she was going to. And so I'm making all of my food. I'm going to pre-portion it so that, you know, all throughout the week that I'm gaining the momentum. When we get on the plane, I'm going to have all of my food already made. I'm going to have a lunch for me. I'm already planning, you know, I'm not going to be going out to any of our favorite spots. I wasn't planning to, but I just know that those invitations are going to come. And I'm going to be checking in, and I'm really hoping that I can have something positive to report. And I'm hoping that I don't have to make another one of these heart-to-heart videos where I'm like the lady who did what she was telling other people not to do. But I know that people who might be listening may have been there and may have had the same thing. And oh my gosh, this is turning into like the longest video of all time. But anyway, thank you for listening. Thank you for letting me kind of pour my heart out. I'm not exactly sure what all I've said. Thanks for letting me take you on a little quick tour through our, you know, messy house at the end of the day. And I've got my cashew, pumpkin, egg, little high-fat, super coconut oil, pancakey things. I gotta add up the points. I've made them before. They are very delicious. No sugar, no flour or anything like that. And then I've got my Brussels sprouts made, and then I've got all of my squash. We actually had to pull these in from the garden. We had to throw away a bunch of them, but I grew all those, and so I'm going to take my squash and make sure that those are steamed, and I've got some meat in the fridge that I'm going to cook next, and I'm going to make 2 more salads so that I don't have to think about my food. I will just go and I will grab and I will eat and I will enjoy, and then I will be done. And no treats, no goodies, no pieces of dark chocolate, no little yummy things that sometimes I, you know, plan for. I just need to kind of have a few days of clean. So thanks again for watching, and I hope that tomorrow is a good day for everybody, and that you're not having to have a day like I had today where you're like, why did you do that? Because those days are really, really not fun. So love you all. Mwah. And have a wonderful day. Bye.